the Ministry of Energy for guiding the overarching policy framework and the regulatory direction.
Started in 1924, was thus received in 1938 and done to the finish. He estimated that the water potential combined with Muskelia and Kehelgam oil could be diverted to produce electricity to light 100,000 lamps. Hence the name Laksapana became Lakshapana.
Right, thank you very much. To solar, wind and hydropower, plus the plans for scaling up initiatives. Would like to call upon Deputy.
Very pleasant morning to you, all of you here in Colombo. So my pleasant duty today is to give you an outline of the renewable energy resources available in Sri Lanka. So there are many more presenters who will be dwelling deep into other matters related to renewable energy. So my duty starts with the resource potential of our country. So solar, wind and hydropower capabilities, not forgetting biomass. So this is the presentation outline. I will quickly go through this. So our energy supply portfolio is mainly sourced from two sources, imported energy sources and our own energy sources. The primary energy sources we call the
transmission system, and that is basically you need to see with the all operational studies, all the plants in the system for a different scenarios, whether the system is stable for a different contingencies, and that has to be tested. And once that is done, then we have to go for an intermediate base case, and finally we have to develop the base case plan. So that is the process. So since it is there's a lot of technical software side involved, so that is just to completeness. So I have just added this slide. And then the demand forecast. So basically the demand forecast we prepare for 25 years ahead, and out of 25 years we publish for 20 years. So mainly the approach followed is basically we have medium-term forecast, that is for the first 5 years. It is going through the bottom-up approach. So starting from the past data, and we use time series and time trend analysis for the forecasting, and for the long-term forecast for the next 20 years. So we use kind of econometric analysis, and then we calculate the generation demand in terms of gigawatt hours, and then we calculate the peak demand in the capacity. And so what you can see is the determination of the peak demand is very important. So we have day peak, and then we have night peak. So what is you can see in the left graph, so the dotted line is basically the demand what is seen from the system control center. But around 500 megawatt at present we don't see in the system control center, because the rooftop solar, that is not visible. There are embedded generators which is not visible.
I think the entire energy sector is very well represented as you see around. And in the energy sector as well as the energy solutions, energy transition. So probably I think it's timely for me to ask whether we are going through about 40 years of research into energy transition and renewable energy. The future of the energy sector is clear to be in the renewable. So, having that in place, can you elaborate on the solutions, the new research, and whether we have the required solutions to integrate?
That is two things. One is to, as Dr. Vijayapon mentioned, we have to develop the transmission line to the scattered renewable energy resources, because we have to collect that energy to national grid. Then we have to properly develop these transmission lines. The other thing is actually grid balancing. It is challenging in a way, because we need certain technologies here actually, because we should know the demand as well as the energy generation. Energy generation is climate dependent, time dependent, and so on. Then grid balancing is a challenge. Therefore, we have to go for the modern technologies. We have to, I think, go for the smart grid and to balance actually grid, because
and because of the failure we experienced few weeks back. Yes, actually, we have to see our main duty is to meet the demand with the available generation. But at the same time, we are in the transition process from fuel-based generation to renewable. As you said earlier, when we get a generation means it has a capacity as well as energy. But with the transition towards